Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Mental Health. Today, I have Aditya Shukla here. So, Aditya Shukla is an applied psychologist. So, thank you very much, Aditya, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me here, Lakshit. Hey, you
Uh,
all, what's up?
Yeah, it's my pleasure to have you. Ultimately, it's great that you joined me. Before starting anything and getting into any kind of discussion, that would be great if you can introduce yourself and what you do and all those things.
Okay, sure. So, I'm an applied psychologist. That basically means I look at a lot of psychology research and figure out how to apply it for people for use in day to day life, or maybe in the industry or in some companies. So, apply research, and that's pretty much my job.
Okay.
The other
Okay.
thing I do is I'm a psychology blogger. So, I
Mm-hmm.
run a website called Cognition Today,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much my primary career right now.
Okay, okay, great. And one more question before getting into the discussion about today's topic is what do you think is mental health according to you, and how do you define mental health into your own words?
Okay, so that's quite a broad question, but let's try to have a single sentence answer or an approach here. For me, or in my opinion, mental health is this holistic state of your brain which includes your mind, but it's not just the absence of a disorder. It's mental health is about everything starting with the really difficult parts to all the good parts. So everything from depression to flourishing and being in flow and achieving a lot is something mental health looks at. So everything about your life where your mind is involved and your life is involved in the context of the environment, that's mental health.
Hmm.
It starts with genetics, it ends with pretty much the entire earth.
Okay,
You as a part, you as an organism, how you function.
okay, okay, great. Thank you for giving that
Yeah.
intro. And could you just speak about today's topic, which is procrastination? So, what do you think we're gonna be discussing in this, and how do you think is procrastination, what it is, and all those things? If you can just go ahead with that.
Okay. So procrastination is something which I think everyone has to deal with at some point.
Okay.
Uh, I also do that pretty much every single day. The thing about procrastination is that it's almost always very poorly talked about
Mm.
online. People consider procrastination to be laziness or just some bad habit or, lack of willpower. Turns out psychology research has consistently told us that procrastination is not really about laziness or willpower. Procrastination is a problem of emotions.
Mm.
And if that is a little surprising, let me dive into that a little deeper. It doesn't have much to do with time management either. So, a lot of productivity gurus who talk about building great habits and overcoming procrastination with tons of these worksheets, that's really not how you would go about it.
Okay.
So, okay, from a psychologist point of view, what I'm going to say is procrastination is about emotional regulation.
Mm.
That means it's an outcome of how well you can manage your emotions about a certain task. If a certain task is causing you anxiety, we procrastinate, we go back, we try to repair our mood, and then try to do something in the future, thinking that, I'll just overcome my procrastination and get something done. But turns out this poor emotional regulation just continues. And that is pretty much what we see as procrastination. It could be like a fear of failure, feeling that you can't do well enough, general anxiety about how reality is going to change if you complete the task. So procrastinating while studying is usually about fear of failure or
Okay.
feeling that you are actually not smart enough to even tackle the subject.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Okay.
really about the hidden emotions about a topic.
Okay. And how could, like, what's normal, how at a person level, being more precise, and an Indian young teenager would procrastinate? What's type of things you as a psychologist you would say procrastination in day-to-day life of an Indian teenager is?
I think the most common form is picking up your phone and going on Instagram. and chilling and or maybe just watching a whole playlist on YouTube or browsing on Netflix. I think that's what most of the procrastination looks like. There's also a very hidden type of procrastination which looks great, but
Okay.
if you think about it, it's not. When you sit and organize your desk and when you're like helping a lot of people, but you're pushing your own work aside, doing something good as a trade-off, that also could be procrastination. So a lot of people really try to get a lot of good things done,
Hmm.
productive things done, but
Okay.
they disregard their own work.
Okay.
So these are the
Uh,
two ways I feel they
okay.
exist.
I just get confused a lot of time understanding procrastination. Could you try to make it more precise and precise, but in a small way, which in an easy manner, which everyone could understand. I to be personal level, hearing a lot of people reading the definitions again and again, I never get what
Hmm.
really is procrastination. So how would you define it in very precise form, but in a very small way? Like, yeah.
So delaying a task which is important, even if you don't really want to, and you know you shouldn't delay it, but you still delay it. That's procrastination. It's going
Okay.
against your motivation.
Okay. I get it now. I get it now. Okay, great. And why then? Why do you think is procrastination bad?
So usually it's bad because you don't complete a lot of work which you're supposed to. I mean, it's the most standard problem, lack of productivity.
Hmm.
The other bad part is that it causes more and more anxiety because you already have the guilt that you haven't done something important.
Okay.
That guilt just builds up once you know you have procrastinated. Then you are tense and then you're frustrated that you're not getting things done. Then you feel sad about it. Then you feel depressed about it. So this whole loop keeps going of negative emotions back to back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
bad productivity and negative emotions are two reasons why procrastination is bad.
And how can somebody who's procrastinating can know he's procrastinating, or he's procrastinating unknowingly? How could we get that to know?
So usually a lot of people are really aware that they are procrastinating. They
Mhm.
just don't want to deal with the idea that this is procrastination.
Okay.
So if you're putting off something which is important, you pretty much know you're procrastinating. If you feel you have a deadline and you're not meeting it, you're probably procrastinating. But the hidden type, which I spoke of earlier, is if you are spending a lot of time planning, lot of time preparing, but not actually doing the work. You're doing everything else which seems important, but it's not the actual work. That's a form of procrastination too.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. And how can somebody replace procrastination with anything better? Like, how could somebody not procrastinate and do the how can somebody do their deadlines and do their work on the time they decided to do?
Hmm. Okay. So I think we should come back to this question after discussing two types of procrastination.
Okay, sure, go
Because
ahead.
every procrastination is not bad. There's something called as passive procrastination, which is what we all dread. That's the procrastination which means you are unable to finish the work you are committing to.
Okay.
That's the procrastination which leads to bad productivity.
Hmm.
The other type, which is actually useful, is called active procrastination.
Okay.
It means you intentionally delay work which you are supposed to, so the pressure builds up. And when the pressure builds up, you have all that energy to actually finish it well.
Okay.
For someone who's actively procrastinating, finishing early actually ends up being bad because the person feels maybe I should have really put in my energy, but I was relaxed. Being relaxed is not good for me. So a lot of different personality traits over here. Different people have different approaches to work. For some people, the pressure is really important, and that pressure lets them really focus everything they have on a task. And when they do that, they actually do a better job. So procrastination actually turns out to be good. So when it comes to deadlines, for a lot of people, active procrastination might work because everyone has both procrastinations. It's not just one. So you might be prepared to something, you have a deadline, follow something called as Parkinson's law. It's not exactly a law, but it's something which is quite evident in psychology research. If you have a deadline, reduce that deadline to something smaller,
Okay.
about half the length, and then commit to that deadline. For a lot of people, that pressure builds up, but usually your work expands to fit the time you have. So if you give yourself lesser time, you actually might be able to finish it early. But this is not for everyone.
Okay.
For most people, the way to counter procrastination is to regulate your own emotions and build a tolerance for all those negative thoughts in your head about your work. If you feel you're going to do a bad job, that's okay. You might do a bad job. No one's going to give you a false promise that you'll excel. You have to accept that you could do a bad job, but the only way you can get better is if you at least try and improve the next time.
Yeah.
So look at the task, focus on what it makes you feel. The moment it feels bad, remember that emotion and tell yourself you are strong, you are resilient, and you are capable. And then take the smallest step and do this every single time. You'll realize that you can actually do this step by step without really worrying about what's going to happen after you complete the task. You're not going to be worried about failing. You're not going to be worried about doing a bad job. You'll be in the present moment.
Okay. And as you already touched the last question also, so would you wish upon talking something more on procrastination, or if not, then you can just end up with the message and we can conclude this session.
Okay, sure. So I think we can talk about one important thing about procrastination. That's our standard habit. That's the most typical procrastination style. Like you take your phone, you have your work, say on your laptop, and you just take your phone and you start scrolling. And, 30 minutes later, 40 minutes later, okay, the time is gone. So
Yeah.
the reason we do this is because we have psychological needs. Our phone is fulfilling them.
Okay.
When a task makes us feel bad, what do? We pick up the phone to feel good. So if you want to avoid the phone and actually still work without really sacrificing your enjoyment, work on your psychological needs. See if you are actually lacking some something that you desire in real life. For example, are you not having enough time with friends? Are you not having quality relationships? Is it sex that you are missing? Or is it going out and drinking that you are missing? All of these things, good or bad habits doesn't matter over here. But you have psychological needs. You feel like doing things that make you feel good. If they stop, the phone becomes an opportunity to do every other thing possible.
Mm-hmm.
And all those random notifications, rewards, that endless news feed, it creates anticipation and excitement. We don't know what it is, but we know most of it is going to make us feel something. It's not going to feel numb. And that's why we stick to the phone. So if you work on your psychological needs and make sure your mental health is good, at least good enough. I'm not saying that you have to be the greatest person on the planet. You can strive to be, but just basic. You take care of yourself. If you do all of that, your phone usage will reduce, your procrastination will reduce, and you will feel more satisfied working on your tasks. You'll feel the need to pick up your phone lesser and lesser.
Okay, 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 great. So, would you wish to end up, give a last message to people watching it or something, or then otherwise we can conclude this?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just give a small highlight of what I think I want you all to remember from this. There are two types of procrastination. Active procrastination can be good for you. Passive procrastination could be bad for you.
Okay.
To deal with passive procrastination, work on your mental health,
Mm-hmm.
overcome things like fear of failure and feeling that you don't deserve achievements or rewards, and take small steps.
Mm.
Playing with your phone and playing a lot of games or just scrolling through feeds is okay. Having fun on your phone is a great way to improve your mood, but don't let it come at the cost of doing your tasks. Spread out both of them. Commit to your task and then commit to enjoyment.
Okay, okay, great. So, thank you very
Yeah.
much for being here, Aditya. It was wonderful talking
Thanks
about
a lot, Lakshit.
procrastination, and it was wonderful talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
My
See you
pleasure.
all.